It's time for the end of season awards. To wait for some money to come in and ask for a stadium. Leave a comment. Who's your signing of the season? Best player of the season? Young player of the season? I can show you the transfers, I guess, so you can take a look at the transfers. Transfer history. So there's your signings. You can pause, leave a comment. Let's go do a transfer window and ask for a stadium, man! All right, my friends, welcome in. I'm at the beginning of the transfer window. I've not gone ahead. I wanted to show the end of season awards, and then we're going to wait for the money to come in. It's going to kind of be a little choppy. I may be wearing a different shirt at some point because it may take me until some other time to record the whole transfer window. But I want to go through the best 11. Grandi has made it into the best 11 as a substitute. He's not gotten past Theo, who I think is kind of interesting. Theo, to be fair, here quite some time. And at a pretty decent level, you could argue. So where's Grandi? He is here. He's been here a pretty decent time. Now he's not had a 7.0 season. So that you could argue fair. He has been overall solid though, I think. Especially with his versatility. Loving that. All right. So that's that. Where are they now? Adamida is currently playing for CF America. Ryan Cassidy is at Besiktas. Zvolfs is playing for Parma, which I forgot. Haas plays for St. Gallen. Vipes is for AEK Athens. Theo is with Venezia. Icardi turns out for Karabükspor in the Turkish Super League, who we don't have loaded, I guess. Oops. How's Ida doing? 20 caps, 7 goals. He's doing all right, I guess. Cassidy. He's doing all right. 5 caps, 1 goal. That's not what we were hoping for, to be honest with you. End of season awards. Here we go. Surge, 54%. Angelini with 19% and Colombani with 16%. To be fair, you did have a horrific injury. Ken Luce is your signing of the season, $9.94 million from Nancy. And Angelini is the young player of the season. Seems a bit unfair. I think 24. Are you really young at 24? But, okay, Serge, Angelini, and Colombani. I didn't look at this, I guess, so. Serge with a 702. You could argue, yeah, kind of a disappointing season because last season we had all kinds of players over a 7.0, right? So Serge kind of takes it away running, right? Even though Angelini with Colombani with 16 goals and 9 assists, technically more than Serge, average rating is a little bit lower. I guess, when was his injury? Oh, no, wait. We had a horrible injury, right? Did I miss it? 6 months. Okay. I guess it was the end of last season. Time is but a blur. So Serge and then Angelini getting the nod over Colombani, which is kind of interesting. Even though their average rate, maybe the average ratings is just like once you get down to the next decimal, maybe it's different. He did start in 3 more games, but subbed in 2 less. But, played slightly more minutes on average. I don't know. And then you're signing the season being Ken Luce. I think that makes sense. Ken all the way down here with 33 starts on a 6.73, but he's young. I'm not upset about that. Compared to Gall is the signing for the future, and Bond we loaned out. So I guess that I'm guessing having not seen your comments, I'm guessing that's what you said is Ken actually played right 24 starts on a 6.78 versus what is it like 3 subs for Rene. 3 subs with no rating whatsoever. 1 for the future. My computer is really sluggish right now. It makes me nervous. When I click back, it's like, come on, boys. I am happy. Gabriel here with 36 starts, 11 goals, 4 assists on a 6.88. I think that's a solid first season, right? So we bring him in, we loan him out. I am not going to really go forward. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for your comments from the last episode about Gabriel. I'm just here because we haven't done anything. His loan hasn't ended. I don't have the opportunity yet to extend it. That's not an option. But I am going to wait to see what you all say. So this might come out later, but then it will already have been later because you're watching my face now. You know what I'm saying. Hopefully. It did say that the board are we got 3.52 million and we paid out 1.7 to the team. In that the board are pleased, although at one point we look like we're going to qualify for the Champions League, so it does take some of the shine off the achievement. Well, we still qualify for continental competition. We're going to dominate. I'm feeling a little more confident. I don't know why, but we're going to dominate. That's really all there is to show you on this screen. So now I'm going to hop forward up until the point where I can extend loans or not, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to wait for your comments on that, and then we'll see what you all decided later in this episode. It's kind of weird. Let's go. All right, we're in 8.23 million from the Champions League TV revenue and 3.32 million from coefficient ranking, and we paid out 725K of it to the squad. Now we do have in let's go back to last June. We do get a big bump, but I want to say it's really hard to tell if that's June or July. Like, really annoyingly hard to tell. But I think this is as good a spot as any to ask for a stadium. AC Milan won the Champions League. Because I guess how I look at it, we just got essentially 11 million after we paid the players. If we wait 4 weeks, we're going to burn through most of it. I really wish I could tell. Hold on. Let's look at last season. Okay, we can find the big bumps, I guess. Let's look at TV revenue. When is this? May. So we've not. I guess maybe we do wait until we get that big spike because it happens every time. So you gotta wait for the big spike. I guess. I having looked at this, I think it's worth waiting just a fuzz longer because if you go look here at okay, I'm just looking here. We got that instead of that. Well, that's TV revenue. That's interesting. I guess we made. That's odd. Serie A. So maybe it's like the upcoming season, right? So obviously players sold was a spike, prize money was a spike, but I think the thing we're waiting for is this. Whatever that looks like happening somewhere in here. It hasn't shown up yet. How much money are we talking here? We're going from essentially 4 million to 18. That's what? 14 million? Would that have all been? Would that have been that? So maybe we've already gotten it, just hasn't shown up on the graph? Let's go. Wait, we might as well just. I don't think they're going to say yes, but. Let's go. Wait. Rip the Band-Aid. Achieve his ambitions. Current minimal expansion potential, modern forward-thinking club, revenue streams, new stadium with bigger capacity, keep it the best, develop our stadium, to be stuck in a ground sharing situation which is undeniably holding us back. I think revenue streams with a bigger capacity because that ties into our current attendance. After all I've done for this club, I've raised a good profile. That seems like a big ask. I've raised our profile. The least you could do, it's not, help me buy a player. It's build me a stadium. I'm not going to leak it to the press. Maybe 40 million is not enough. It's kind of hard to, so how do you increase the fan base? Could we have asked? I don't think we can go back now, but could we have asked for an expansion? I don't think we can ask for expansion. Let's ask for an affiliate club. Increase our profile in another country, which would help increase our fan base, right? Right? We have enough affiliates already. we have affiliates and I never noticed? That would be really, really poor on me. No, we don't. Okay, I'm going to wait for your comments now to see what we should do with these folks from the previous episode. Let's find out. Hello, my friends. I've done something that I've never done before in Football Manager. Let's find out what it is. And head straight into talking about transfers. If you look over there, you can tell we've spent a little bit of money, it seems. We have 35.7 in the balance, and we started with something like 40. But I think you should also notice that wage budget. They're giving us 1.4 million, and we've dropped it down. We were at like 1.289, something like that, and we've dropped it down to 1.223 per week. So what has happened? What has happened, my friends? I've seen it, but I've never done it, at least that I can recall. Now, someone that has been around that has a better memory than me, it's like, oh yeah, back in FM17, you did this, but I don't recall doing this. We have been able to pick up a player from Watford, my friends, for 7 million euros. And lowered our wage budget because we swapped players. Never done it. Let's hop right to it. We have made some changes. You'll see them. I'm not going to try and hide it or anything like that. Let's just get right to it. We sold Ernesto for 4.8 million. We sold Ferranti for 190k. And we player exchanged Jallo. He was on 110k a week. He wasn't worth 110k a week to us. He wasn't playing that much, as much, okay? 27, 30 games, but it was like a lot of substitute appearances. He was on star player money, but he wasn't giving us star player minutes. Now, it says he's worth 38 million. He was worth 24 when he was on our books, but that's because they've offered him a contract, gone from 110 to 155k. He must be happy. Overall, I feel like this deal has ended up being like one of those rare deals where it's the best of both worlds for everyone. It's better for both players. It's better for both clubs, which I don't think you see a lot. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not in the real world. I don't mean in Football Manager. I just mean like in the real world. It's like usually there's not a player exchange, right? At least in my experience, usually one club buying another player, right? But his value's gone up and his wage has gone up and he's going to get more minutes. He's an important player. Like, good for him. And in return, there were so many transfers. We bugged out my computer. Oh, come on, boys. In return, we've gotten Jordan Chavez, Jordan, who's a pretty good center back that I've had my eye on for some time. Now, he's a realist. His composure is a 10, which is a bit of a problem. But if I could click, that would be fantastic. He's an upgrade, I think you could say, over Andreessen. Right? A whole star of improvement. He's actually a half star better than So, which is kind of tragic, really, when you think about it. He's also wanted by Sporting, okay? But, poor first touch. We're not going to play him as a ball-playing defender. Not a big deal. If you look at his career, he did get 30 appearances, 28 starts last season in the Premier League, 6.71. He's not exactly lit it up, but he also had, I think, some sort of an injury. Nope, sports hernia. Nope, they just didn't play him. I clicked again. They just didn't play him, apparently. I'd love to tell you I looked at this prior, but I didn't. I just think, okay, he's not a fit for the Premier League. Okay, cool. I mean, I believe in him. They paid 12.5. They got 7 million out of us, which when they immediately accepted it, I was like, I may have overpaid. But I think when you look at the values, now the values are suspect, I'm sure. We are about the same value. I mean, okay, so Jallo's 38 million, so that's 4.5. So technically they got one over on us, except we're paying 73k instead of 110, and they're paying Jallo 155. I think we came out ahead. If we could work on the composure, that'd be great. Is he going to be amazing? I don't know. That's part of the charm, isn't it? He can play a DM in a bind, as a halfback or an anchor man or something like that. We wouldn't play him as a defensive midfielder because his passing and first touch are pretty poor. But, play him as a halfback, play him as an anchor man. If we had to go a 4-3-3 with a DM, I think for the money, right? We got rid of a high wage player. We saved, what is that? 37 grand? Is that right? 37 grand a week. We save 37 grand a week. Okay. Oh, I clicked another button. 37 grand a week on my calculator, you can't see, is 1.9 million euros a year. And we had Jallo for another 3 years. So, like, the money that we're going to save over the next 3 years by employing Jordan rather than Jallo, plus €1 million, pays to have him here. I think that's good business. I obviously I'm biased. Now he could be a little taller, 6'1". His composure could be better, but I think for $7 million and lowering our wage budget, I'm happy. I know I've said that like 4 times. I'm very proud of this because I've never, like, we've just done something that I've never done ever in Football Manager. Now, the comments were pretty clear that if we couldn't get a loan to a Serie A team, a good one for Gabriel Bon, to let Ernesto go, because Ernesto does take up a non-EU slot. I think this is also a good deal for both parties. We picked him up for 3.4 million. We've sold him at a profit 2 seasons later, right? For 1.4 in profit. Now, you know, does that cover his wages? I mean, yeah, because he was at 3.2K a week. He's making 26, right? He's up, what is that, like, I don't know what that is. It's like not 10 times as much, 7.5 times as much money. I don't know what it is. So he's making more money. His value has gone up. Now they're paying him more money, but like, okay, we freed up the non-EU slot. He's now going to get consistent minutes. He's with Perugia, who have stayed up in Serie A. Look at them last season going 9th. Little dream story for them. So we get that slot back. We get Bon. He could take his spot in terms of being that backup striker, third striker, depending, right? Ferranti, we let go to Padova, which I kind of think is kind of sad. Serie B, but to be fair, they finished 10th last season, so they kind of dipped down in Serie C for a good bit, and they've been able to stay up the last 2 seasons. The board's not happy because we got 190K for him. There was a lot of people coming in for him. He's a fine player, would have kept him as a backup, but I thought, hey, we can get 190K for him, and what does that do, my friends? What does that 190K do for us? Well, it doesn't do much, except it allows us to promote John Short, who is one of my patrons, who has as much potential, but needs game time. So I'm quite pleased that John Short is now our backup keeper. John, please don't get injured. Please? Can you? Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah. So here's Gabriel. He's going to be around the team. I'm also hoping from like he's resolute, you know, like keeping him around. He is wanted. There are some teams that would like to, you know, have him on board for a bit, but we're going to use him. I have started him working on inside forward just to see if we can increase his attributes a little bit on some things and make him more versatile, right? Because we got Serge and Colombani here. Here we've got Colombani, Gabriel, and Alonso. And here we have Alonso and Coot and Joel. So I'm like, well, you know, let's see if we can, and because he is right-footed, I'd rather practice the left side, right? Now, those of you that know training better than I do may go like, well, that's going to ruin his attributes onto the advanced forward. Maybe. I don't know. But as a fringe player, he's not going to get as many minutes there. I have tried to sell or loan Maximiliano to free up another non-EU slot. No takers. We do have a Saudi Arabian club that is interested in him. But I've got him listed at 7 million as the asking price, and no one's come in. I may just take that off, to be honest with you, since we've made the moves I think that we're going to make. I'm going to take him off of the loan. There you go. So I think, you know, take it or leave it. Regular starter, probably not. Could we get rid of some of that wage? Yeah, but I do like Maximiliano. I do. I like seeing 17s on composure and passing. So if we play a more aggressive 4-2-3-1, he becomes the backup number 10 to Angelini, who has not left, although is not happy, and Chelsea is still sniffing around. I'm waiting for the transfer window to close so that Chelsea can go, oh yeah, and he'll go, yeah. You know, they're not interested. I'm good. You know, that's kind of what we're hoping for. But that's kind of what's going on. That's it. It doesn't seem like much, but I do think it is quite busy, to be completely honest with you. We still have a bunch of money in the budget. but we're not really looking to do anything crazy. Like, if I found an outstanding right winger that could play inside forward, then I'd probably buy him. But all of them are like 20, 30, 40, 50 million. I'm like, yeah, that's not the kind of club that we are right now. We've loaned out some of our young players, including Sam Basao, 6'4", hoping to get him some regular minutes with Pescara in Serie C/B. Can he help lead them back to Serie B? Who knows? But good player. He just wasn't getting any minutes. And it's kind of like, well, it was nice to have him around the squad last season, but you got one substitute appearance. So that's a bit of a problem. We're sticking with our normal system here, the 4-3-3, or the 3-4-3, I should say. We do have the 4-2-3-1 as an alternative. I'm also excited because let me show you some of the improvements here. So, like, let's look at Montana. Now, Montana's determination is dropping, but everything else is going up, and he's 6'6", and I'm hoping, because we got rid of Sal, that he and Andreasen become the backups, and maybe we can get him, like, Andreasen's like more the emergent. It depends on the game, I'm sure. But Montana comes in if we're ahead like 2-3-0. We bring in the youngster, get him some game times. Rene Gall continues to improve, my friends. Look at the, I think he's already with 3.7 million. He played 2.1. People are like, I don't think he's gonna make it. The board's like, I don't think he's gonna make it. Kluga, wanted by Udinese, but we're not. He is now our backup left winger. So that's also kind of the left wing back. That's also kind of the problem with Rene, is like, how many games is he gonna get? But I think with the Europa League group stage, there's an opportunity, like, where, you know, Grandi or Giroud gets hurt or something like that, to where Kluga starts getting more game time, and then Gall comes in off the bench as a substitute. Locke's potential is kind of leveled out. He's worth 1.9 million. Not gonna lie, Locke, I thought about selling you, but you did give us 13 appearances on a 688 last season, and I want to give it one more roll of the dice, my friends. David Passoni is still with us. We have not loaned him out, although he is wanted by everybody, but we do need players, is kind of my thinking here. He's the third best currently, number 10 on the team, and in an absolute devastating bind. He can play midfield or striker. I like having him around. We're trying to get that determination up. We do have him mentoring. Christian Messina continues to improve. Not as many arrows as it once was, but he continues to improve. And he actually got some games. Like, he got 7 substitute appearances last season on a 6.57, but he's 18. And so I'm not saying he's the next Surge, but I think he's worth keeping around as well. Joel might be... Well, I mean, we made 50 grand on him thus far, so we've essentially not really paid for it. We paid like a third of the wages for this or last season, so, but it's not a lot of money, right? Is he going to get more games? Maybe. And then Vincentini, who it throws me off because Viviani, to be honest with you, and there's another Viviani in our youth team. Center back. I just have him up for mentoring purposes, and then we have him available for the under 20s or reserve team or 18s, whatever it is. That's where we're at. So it's kind of interesting to see the changes in the star ratings, because, like, oh, Giroud and Grandi, but Giroud and Grandi have been amazing for us. It's just that, you know, we've got Angelini. Angelini is now world-class midfielder and leader, like, just straight leader. I love the personality. I don't think I've had some model citizens. Like, I think we had, what was his name? We had a midfielder, an older midfielder at Cabinteely that was model citizen. That's why we kept him around. And I think we brought him back as a coach. I can't remember his name. Surely one of you do. But I don't think I've ever had a player with the personality of leader, like straight up just leader. So that's awesome. He's worth 70 million. Leader's not happy. You could argue not ideal. But we got him, we got Alonso, we got Serge Colombani. So I don't know if, like, that's really changed. Maybe it's just he just keeps getting better, and that's like making everyone else look worse. We did have several clubs. Pisa came in multiple times for Bergeron. I'm kind of confused. Maybe you can explain this to me. Maybe it's just our current squad, okay? But, like, I think he's a pretty darn good keeper, right? But he's only worth like less than a mil. Lecce is in. Okay, all right, son, enjoy. Their keeper is worth 210k. I think our keeper's better. Aerial reach and command, I know he's like 16s on Bergeron. I mean, okay, let's look at Sassuolo, who beat, who'd they beat? They just beat somebody. They just beat Roma, which is kind of unbelievable. Their keeper was 7.5 million. Okay. He's a little bit better in some categories, but like, maybe it's just that he's getting paid so much more. So someone explain that to me. Why is our keeper at 725K? I don't understand. Now, the offers were like, essentially, when you added up all the clauses and all that kind of stuff, got it up to 2.8 million. But that doesn't really, I mean, I think he could be our keeper for another like 5 years. Unless we find like some stud, right? I'm just kind of confused by that. So that's how we line up, my friends. I really don't think there's much else to show you. I guess we've drawn... Okay, we can play Bari or Modena or Salernitana or Padova. Probably Salernitana, but again, in the first round, that'd be all right, considering they finished last season in 13th. We would take that all day long. Now, if one of these teams does an upset on, like if Padova in Serie B, you know, with our loanee that I can't remember right now, beats them, that's even better, my friends. Are we... is this the club that we have the rivalry with? There's so many. Yes. Yes. Oh, that would be amazing first round. Of course, I would like to actually get past the first round. And then the only other thing, my friends, is okay, it's August 18th. So we are down here. The Euro Cup group stage draw is going to be here. That's going to be the next time you see us. I'm not going to show you Napoli or Lazio. We're going to come back and do the draw and Genoa and something else. There's a gap here, probably for some sort of international break. Or maybe that's the group. Yeah, I don't know. You should know by now. I don't remember all the schedules and all that kind of stuff. All right, my friends. So this is the commercial summary. And you're like, this is the end of the video. I'm not even sure if I'm still watching this. But sponsorship dollars continue to rise. Corporate and hospitality up a little bit. Match day commercial down a little bit. Kind of washes out, right? Competition prize money obviously clearly up. Broadcast revenues surprisingly down a little bit. Angelini, Serge Viviani, Colombani, and Giallo. So we've dropped our fifth most sold kit player. But it says total merchandise sales is 2.54 million, non-domestic sales amounting to 1.53 million of that. So that means, by my math, that we're selling more non-domestically, aka internationally, which why call it anyway, than we are in Italy. And so what we did last summer, in the summer of 2029, is we did a USA tour. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. So the options this time were like Singapore, China, USA. And I was like, well, we did USA. Let's do China and see if we can get a bump in our merchandising stuff there. I'm curious what you think about that. Like, because what I was thinking, right? You go back to the board saying, hey, our fan base isn't large enough to justify buying a new stadium. We're selling 17,000 tickets in a stadium that has 21,500 seats. I think we have room to grow. Now maybe we have to sell 21,000 season tickets. I don't know, but I was thinking, okay, if we go to the USA, if like we rotate every other year, we go to the USA, and on the off years we go to China. Can we build up a big enough fan base to justify getting a stadium? I don't know how that works. What do you think? I love that we still have poor data analysis facilities because they refuse to upgrade them. Apparently, our ownership hates data analysis. Maybe that's why they're like, if we upgrade the data analysis facilities, someone will show us that we should invest in a new stadium, and we don't want to do that. Maybe? Hit the like button. We'll see you next time. Hope you're enjoying the series. Season 12. Is this the one where we can win some silverware? Like the Europa League?